Alright, so I'm going to show how to open up and disassemble this HP Folio 13-2000. So first thing you want to do is remove all the screws from the bottom. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Alright, after you remove those 16 screws, turn it over, open the screen, get a small thin pry tool like this. If you were wondering, the screwdriver to use for the bottom screws were PH1, but anyways, get the thin tool, go along the top of the keyboard. Usually start towards the center so you can kind of lift up part of the keyboard first. So you kind of want to wiggle the tool around. You'll feel like some bumps in there that stop the tool, and wherever you feel that bump, you kind of wiggle it, and that's where you get the tool behind the clips. Okay, so just like that. Alright, just go along and pull up the clip or undo the clips. After you do that, you can pull up on the middle. If you want, you can flex these sides in to make it easier to pull these up. Be careful moving the keyboard. You want to rotate it like this, and then you got to remove these cables. So to remove those, you flip up these little tabs here. So the black tabs, just flip it up like that, and then you can pull out. This is the keyboard backlight cable. This is the keyboard cable. Okay. So it's a little bit tricky to put them back, but basically you just do the same thing, slide them back in, and then push the little latches back down. Okay, so we're going to set the keyboard aside for now. You got the trackpad cable here that you want to disconnect as well, so flip that latch up, and then you can pull that cable out. Okay, alright, just like that. Then you got, I think this is the power button cable. I'm going to flip that up because I think that needs to be removed as well. We'll grab this blue tab and then pull that out. Okay, once you get all of that stuff out, then you want to go not this black layer here, which it makes it look like there's a cover, but it's actually the palm rest and the first part that turns black. You want to get your pry tool or fingernails in there, and then you can separate the two layers just like this. So here you can see I'm just pulling that out. Okay. Alright, and then you want to open the screen all the way. I did take these two screen screws out already, but basically there were screws under here with a little black plastic thing covering it. I used a little needle around the edge to pry up the little black plastic cover. But anyways, once you do that, let's see. I'm not sure how the back comes out because I haven't gotten that far yet. But I would assume that you just got to kind of pick it up and wiggle it around. So let's see here. I hope there's no hidden screws. I don't think so. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try and get this cover up. Start from one side maybe. Nope, it's still holding on really strong over there. Maybe push the thing towards the back. Okay, that's kind of working. There we go. So what I did was I kind of pushed it towards the screen while I kind of pulled up, and that released these clips and allowed me to pull it out. So here you can see the power button is right there, trackpad, and yeah. So let's see. Okay, so we got those out. We'll set that aside as well. So here you can see there's one stick of RAM. This is a PC3 12800S 4 gigs DDR3. So there's a DDR3 RAM. You can put an 8 gig stick if you want. I don't see a second stick in here, so I don't know if there's one on the other side of the board or if it's only using one stick. Please don't ask me that question if you can't find it. Yeah, you can check how much RAM your computer has and then see based on this 4 gigs. So if you have 8 gigs, then you can just assume there's another stick either under somewhere or soldered to the place. But I don't see any room under the board for an actual stick of RAM, so if there's more than 4 gigs of RAM, then it's soldered on. Alright, so we got the battery here. Usually what you would do is disconnect the battery and hold the power button if you're going to do anything with the screen. In this case, the battery is underneath the thing, so you can't really do that without first. What you have to do is take the whole thing out and then undo the battery. So there's looks like one screw here holding the battery, so let's remove that. Okay, so we'll remove the screw holding the battery in place. I think it's just one screw. Okay, and oh, the battery goes all the way up here, so there's actually one screw up here as well. Okay. Wow, that's a huge battery. Okay, you're probably gonna have to remove this, but it is held in with an adhesive, it looks like. So what about this side? Okay, that's not. So we're gonna lift up this side and we're gonna pull this connector out. Then you want to slowly peel it. What I do is I pull it this way to keep the cable flat while I'm pulling it up. Okay, just like this. Okay, but this cable is held in there pretty strong. You don't want to flex or smash this part that's creased too hard because you can damage it. All right, now we got that. Let's pull this cable out. We'll set that aside for now. And I think we can take the battery out. I don't know if there's any cables on top of it, but let's try. Okay, so we got that. All right, so we'll tilt the battery up like this, and then we can pull the battery connector out all the way. And this battery, it says Venturi notebook battery. The HP spare part number is 671277-171. I don't know if you can even read that. But yeah, that's the model number for the battery. Or actually they have another spare part number here, 671602-001. That's probably the more common model number. So we'll set that aside. Okay, so what we're doing is replacing the screen. I didn't actually have to take out everything to get to that, but I mean, I figured might as well. What we're gonna do now is reconnect the power button here. Something just fell out, but I don't know what. There's some of these broken. I don't know. Something fell out. Alright, anyways, I'll look for that afterwards. So what we're gonna do is reconnect the power button just so that we can plug it in and again hold down the power button for about 15 seconds to drain any power that's left in the computer. Okay, so we'll do that. Get this cable back in. It's hard to see at this angle. Normally I have my head viewing straight over the top. Okay, so there we go. Reconnect that, put the latch down. Now we're going to hold the power button down for about 15 seconds just to drain any power from the board so that we don't risk damaging the screen or the motherboard circuit. I mean, the screen's already broken, but the motherboard circuit we don't want to damage. Okay. Alright, that should be good enough. Now we'll pull this cable out, and then we have to take this piece back out again. Oops. Okay, there we go. Okay, so next, there's SATA SSD here. So if you wanted to upgrade the hard drive or the SSD, that's what it is. Wireless card, just like every other one. You pull up on the tail, the antenna will pop off like that. To put it back, you just line it back up and then push it back down. But make sure it lines up right. If you try and push it down when it's not seated on properly, you can actually damage it really easily. This USB port and headphone jack is replaceable. Processor is soldered to the board. I believe this is the GPU card. Then you got the fan. It looks like there's just these screws holding it in. You can take that out. All these little connectors like these, you just grab the wings and you kind of just wiggle it as you pull to get them out. I'm going to leave them in there. But yeah, speaker connector here, fan connector, CMOS or BIOS battery. Got the charge port, DC jack, which is removable. You do have to take the hinge out for the screen. Maybe I'll just, I don't know if I should take the screen out. It's kind of a lot more unnecessary work. Yeah, I'll leave that. Unless I have to, I'm going to leave that in place. I'll try and avoid taking out the whole hinge screen assembly because then I have to worry about all the wireless antennas and everything. So anyways, as I was saying, these little covers here, you remove them with a little needle or something really thin. You just get in the little edge of it and then pry it out. Then there's some PH1 screws under there. After you do that, we have to take this bezel off. So to remove the bezel, what you do, like almost every other laptop, you just go from the center, you pull this middle up while you push the outside in towards the center. Okay, just like this. So I'm basically doing that around the whole frame, pulling up on the center and then pushing the outer edge inwards. Okay. Alright. Just like that. This one is a little bit tricky, so just keep that in mind. There's the little hinge covers here too that kind of get stuck in place. So here you gotta pry these up as well. Don't do this unless your screen's already broken, because there's a good chance that you're gonna end up breaking your screen. Okay, but yeah, just go like that. Okay, now we're gonna flip this, and then we're gonna open the screen all the way. You do want to keep some weight on here or the thing's just gonna fall over. Okay, and then while you're doing that, you kind of just grab this and wiggle it, just like that. This little hinge part can be kind of stubborn, but you just wiggle it and pull it and it should come out. Okay, just like that. Okay, same thing, grab this, grab it and wiggle it, come on. There we go, so we got the whole bezel out. I don't think this had any adhesive on it, so it just comes out like that. Alright, so we'll set that aside. Then there were some screws here. Oh, so these two screws are actually held in by the screws that were outside the bezel underneath the adhesive, and then you got two screws up here that we actually need to remove. So remove these two screws. I was told by the seller of the screen that these plastic pieces were also broken on the other one, which it seems very common because this one, see, that little plastic thing just fell off on its own. Okay, so we got that. Now we're gonna tip this forward, close the screen a little, and then let the screen fall forward if you can. Okay, just like that. It's a little tricky. Oops, I don't know if you can even see. It's a little tricky because you have the webcam connected up here. Let me grab the replacement screen and see if this stuff is already on there. I'll be back. Alright, so here's the replacement screen. As you can see, looks basically the same. We do have to transfer the camera setup over, so I have to be careful with this screen and peel up the other one. So that's gonna be a little bit tricky, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, got these tools over here, so let's see if we can pop this up. I'm gonna try and slowly twist on this piece. Might need to apply some heat. Let's see here. How's this being held on there? There's also some tape down there holding things in place. It looks like it's holding the wires. So I might actually have to take the whole hinge assembly out, which is kind of a bad design. I mean, I could technically just cut the tape, but let's see. I'm going to take the hinges out, and then just so I can move the things back a little bit. Usually these hinges, the hinge screws, if I take them out, I add some red Loctite, or thread locker I mean, to hold the screws back in place, because once you take them out, the screws, they don't hold as well, and when you open and close the laptop over time, the screws will become more and more loose, and that can cause some damage. So alright, let's see if I can take this out without completely, let's see here. Wow, these hinges actually hold strong. Oh, there's another screw down here. Make sure to take that out. There we go. Okay, so now the whole screen assembly can come out. Again, you have to be careful because there are the antenna cables and the LCD LVDS cable connected over here. I'm just going to lift it slightly up just to see. There we go, like this. And now, if you're doing this, you probably have more room on your desk. Right now it's hard to do because I'm trying to show everything in camera. But basically we got that, okay. Okay, so it's just held slightly down with the adhesive. Not a big deal, just peel those up. Okay, just like that. And then we can peel this out. So I'm going to flip this over this side. Okay, we got this LCD cable here connected. There's a little bit of tape adhesive holding it, but grab that and then just wiggle this to pull it out, just like that. Right, now we can peel this LCD or the webcam assembly connectors off. Oh, sorry, you can't even see this. So, I don't know how I'm gonna have this in view, but I'm just peeling the webcam cables all out. So I don't know how I'll keep that in view because this covers. Okay, let me see if I can move that cover like that. Hopefully that will be okay. And then I have to see, I don't know how I will pry this up without damaging it. It's very thin. So I'm gonna just try and pry this up. When you do these, you want to go slow because the adhesive, it will slowly peel off if you go slow enough. Okay, you don't want to just quickly pry it out or you'll end up snapping something. Man, kind of hate when they use adhesive like this because it makes it so much more difficult. Alright, now that I got that out, I'm going to just pull up on this whole board slowly. Pull up this cable, looks like it's held in there with some sticky stuff. Yeah, what in the world? Okay, so this cable is like held in with some sticky stuff, so pull that up. And then slowly peel up this piece. I'm going to have to use the pry tool on the edge as well here. So it looks like most of the adhesive is on these edges. Alright, and you want to be careful here. You don't want to snap this in half. Okay, there we go. So we got the cable out, so that's how it is. This part was kind of stuck down to there. There's not really any sensors on it. Make sure that it's pressed in properly. Okay, so now we got to get the new screen. We can set this one aside, throw it away, or do whatever. Okay, toss that over there. Okay, now we'll get the replacement screen here. Flip it here. First thing you want to do is reconnect the LCD LVDS cable. Right, make sure it goes in underneath the slot properly. Okay, just like this. Plug it in all the way. Use the cable to pull on it, but be careful because this thing is a little weak here, so you don't want to pull too hard, but just make sure it's in all the way. And now we can grab this cable and reseat the camera setup. There's the little divots or the dimples that stick up, just get those lined up. Okay, we'll line up this one first on the to my left, and then we'll line up this one. There we go. And then just press it down to make sure it's seated in place properly. You can put this cabling back. Alright, lift the screen back up. This one doesn't have those little tapes that were hanging down. I think the person that sold it just peeled them all out. You'll want these, oh, I might have to put the hinge screws back. So let me put the hinge screws back. Make this easier to see. It looks like the hinge, the mounting screw for one of these is broken. But yeah, okay. The mounting screw for one of the screen, the little bezel screws, is broken, but I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Sorry. We're going to tighten this one screw down here. Again, I like to put the red thread locker on these, so I'm going to put in a couple screws here just to keep it in place, and then I will add the thread locker. Okay, just like that. Okay, so the tricky part is getting all of this in place. So you got the red thread locker. Open it up. Okay, we're going to grab the screw, put a small amount of this red stuff on it. Alright, put the screw back in. Just like that. Oops, the screen is falling down. And grab the second screw that I put in already, take it back out. Add the thread locker to that. Okay. that screw in. Alright, grab another screw for the other side. Put the thread locker on there. Go. Tighten that screw down. Okay, add the thread locker to that one. Tighten that down. Take this one back out. Add the thread locker to this. Okay, just like that. Tighten that screw in. And then on the bottom side, on the other side, I would put the corner screws with the red thread locker as well. For now, I'm going to close the bottle. Now we have to line up the... So this one is the one that broke, the little thing fell out. So what I'm going to do, now that I have the screen up this way instead, I'm going to put this up here. And then I need to get the cables for the antennas into the slots here. Well, it doesn't look like it needs to go completely, just out of the way. There we go. Okay, so we got this. Now we line the screen back up. Okay, just like this. Hopefully the screen is not damaged in any way. It looks okay. Okay, this cable's all coming out. So it looks like the wireless cable is supposed to go all behind, but some of it moved up. So I'm gonna lift the screen up. I think, is this screen supposed to slide to move? No. Okay, I think I have to slide it down a little bit. It's kind of caught in some grooves. So move the antennas out of the way. I guess this thing came out, so there's no way for me to put this screw back in properly without replacing that back cover, but we're not going to do that, so we're going to line this up again. Slide it down slightly and then slide it back up to get it lined in the right place. There we go. Okay, so now that we got the screen in, we want to put the screws in place. So we'll take the two screws from the top of the screen and put them back in. You don't want to tighten them too much because, as you saw, it breaks these plastic things. All these ones are broken from everyone that they've had. Okay, so we got all of that out. Let's see, what else do we got? Okay, so we got the bottom screws and we got the top cover here. Make sure this is going in the right way. Okay, so now what we can do, we can put this screen bezel in, but you do want to peel this out. So actually I'll do this last because I want to make sure that the screen's working. So what we're going to do, I need to put the battery first, but let's lift that up. Okay. Then we will get the battery and put it at this weird angle. I hope I'm not missing any screws. So let's plug the battery in. Hopefully you got the video cable all in, then you can plug the battery in. Just like that. Okay, am I missing anything? There was one screw up here. And I think I'm missing something. I have two screws that I forgot what I took them out from. What am I missing here? Okay, we got the bottom, top piece. There's no screws from this. So Am I missing something? Let's see, we got this cable here and this cable up here. Well, I'll spot it eventually, but right now I don't remember where I got those two larger screws from. I'm gonna have to rewatch my video or something because I don't remember. Sorry, this video is not meant to be... Oh, okay, just kidding. I thought they were larger screws, but it was the ones with the plastic thing I just stuck back on them. Okay, flip that down. Make sure to flip those up before you put the cable in. Sorry for that random, like, confusion. Alright, put that latch back down. Put these cables in place, stick them down. Okay, now we're going to put this cover back in. Make sure your cables are routed properly. You don't want to have them routed wrong and then you smash them down and damage stuff, okay? So make sure the wireless cable is going and routing around there the way it should be. Alright, we got all of that in. So there's another speaker cable up there if you're wondering. But anyways, all of that's in. Power cable, trackpad cable. So we're going to put the trackpad cable in first. Make sure these are flipped upwards. Push the cable into place. It is a little tricky. If you can, you want to try and grab the little blue tab there. Then flip that down. Okay, get this cable in place. Power button cable, very important, or you can't turn on your computer. Put the latch down. Alright, now you can snap this back in. Alright, snap all the clips back in place. Oops, shoot, I forgot the... Okay, I need to open this again. I just forgot the battery cable screws. I thought I put them for some reason. I was too distracted, so let's reopen this cover. Sorry about that. This is a very sloppy video. Alright, now wiggle this again like before and pull it up. For some reason I was thinking about the battery screws and thought I put them in, but I didn't. So put those two screws back, oops. Put the screw back in down there, right there. And then the other one in this upper spot here. Okay. Alright, now we got the screws in. So let's put this and then we can do the rest. So snap all these clips back in. Like that. Grab the trackpad cable. Line it up. Okay. Make sure the cable goes in. Again, this is kind of difficult because I'm trying to let the camera see the top-down view, but normally when I work on these things, I use the top-down view. But if I do that, my head will be in the way, so I'm trying to do this at a weird side angle, which is very awkward. Come on. There we go. Alright, so get that in, put that latch down. Power button switch, same thing. Get that latched in. Hopefully you could see. Put that down. Alright, now the keyboard. So, what am I doing here? Flip this up, flip that up. Alright, we'll put in the keyboard cable first. At this angle like that. Hold it in place, put the latch down. Looks like it might be a little crooked, so let's fix it up. Okay, then we'll get the keyboard backlight cable. Alright, that's all in. And latch that down. There we go. Let me do that a little bit better. Make sure it's lined up, and then latch that down. Okay, bottom of the keyboard goes in first. Hold the middle up and then put the sides in. While you're holding the middle, put the sides in, then drop it and click the top all in place. Alright, so now let's see if it will power on. I don't have the plug with me, but okay, it's doing stuff. It looks like it's working. So it looks like we're good to go. We can peel off the protective layer. Okay, so is it auto signing in? Okay, so here we go. We got this. It doesn't flicker like that in the screen, but the camera's refresh rate is faster, I guess. So, oh, I guess this isn't touchscreen. I thought it was for some reason. But there you go. It works. And yeah, the screen's not actually flickering like that. It just looks like it in camera. Let me see if I turn the brightness up if it makes any difference. No, I guess the refresh rate is kind of matching with the camera, so it's doing some weird stuff. Anyways, that's working, so I'm going to shut it down. Okay, shut down the computer. And then the somewhat tricky part is getting this bezel back in place. So what you want to do is have this tilted all the way back. Alright. Make sure that this part of the bezel goes on top of all the cables that are in there. Okay, so the tricky part is getting that in place. Alright, so the one screw is missing there, so I'm just going to put the little thing over it, but basically push that in. There you can see that clipped already. Same thing with this side. Okay, then the tricky part is getting all these clips in. You kind of have to push it in while you're like pushing forward. And then same thing, you have to like kind of push how you did to take it out, but in reverse. So you do the same thing. You pull the front up, but then you slowly drop it down while the clips are going. So I don't know if you can see. Basically, you do that twisting motion. And once you start getting them in, you can basically squeeze on the outer edge, and then the middle will basically act like it's being pulled forward. Okay, so let's go around. And you want to clip this bottom part in first, because if you try and close the screen and these aren't clipped in, you can actually damage the screen. Okay, so make sure those are all clipped in, just like that. There's the bottom clips too, not just the top ones, so go over it multiple times. The top set like this, and then the bottom is like deeper in the groove. Okay, just like that, and then go all around, clip in the rest. Just like this. Okay. Oops, sorry, I'm not showing it, but I'm clipping basically around the outer perimeter so that the middle stays up. Okay. And now we put these little pieces back. So this one was the broken one, so I have the screw stuck to the adhesive thing. I'm just going to put that straight in, and that goes in by itself. So this little piece that the screw goes into, it's broken. The plastic that holds it is all broken, so I can't put that back. So we're going to leave that out. And then we'll put the last screw in here. Make sure to hold on the back when you tighten the screw up. Alright, and then get that plastic piece and just put that back to cover the little screw. Okay, so there we go. It looks nice. I did accidentally put some fingerprints on it, but I mean, they get on there the moment you start using it, so can't really be helped. All right, and then you just put all the bottom screws back in. Make sure all of these are clipped. Okay, be careful when you do this. Oh, it looks like the back is not clipping in right by itself, so I am gonna have to fix this. It looks like that's very important. Make sure the back is all clipped in, because if you pull it forward and these don't clip in right, then you can damage the screen. So it looks like I'm gonna have to pull the keyboard back up a little bit and then fix that. So the tricky parts, these are the tricky parts that usually people won't really show, and then you'll end up damaging your computer. So let me take this keyboard back out, and then I'll try and show that if I can. Okay, so get the keyboard out. Let's see if I can show this. So again, we're going to pull this back up. Oops, sorry, my hand, I know it's in the way. Okay, and I'm leaving those cables in So if you do that, be very careful that you don't lift it too high. I might have to take it out anyways, so let's take out the trackpad cable. Here, the power button cable is not a big deal. Get that screw out of the way. Okay, so you want to kind of get this back corners in first and make sure that they clip flat, because this doesn't seem to want to go in the way it should. Oh, no wonder why. Where'd that magnet come from? I better check if that magnet came out of this, because if it did, then the computer's not going to sleep. So I'm going to take that out. No, the magnet didn't come from here. Did it come from the other screen? I don't see a place for this magnet, unless it goes in that little hole there. Okay, it might have come from this little hole here, I think. No, I don't know. No. Yeah, I don't know where this magnet came from. I'm going to check and make sure the laptop goes to sleep, but a magnet came out of it, which is kind of strange. I don't see a place for the magnet to go inside of this or in here, so that's strange. Okay, well, let's put this cover back. Hopefully it will sit down properly. I think that magnet was in the way. So put the power button back in place. Trackpad cable back in place. Sorry, there's some weird stuff happening that you're probably gonna be like, that didn't happen on mine, but yeah, okay. Yeah, it's sitting properly now, so that was kind of weird. I don't know where that magnet fell out from. I hope I'm not gonna have to pull the screen back out, because that's gonna be risky. But yeah. Alright, so let's get the keyboard back in. But you get the idea. If you probably already finished yours, because I don't think your magnet just randomly fell out from wherever that came from. Yeah, take that in. Take the keyboard backlight cable and plug that in. Make sure it's in. This, you might need like help to do this, because somebody needs to hold the keyboard up. It would be a lot easier if that were the case, but do that. It is possible by yourself. It's just a little bit more difficult. All right, same thing. Hold the middle up, sides in, and then drop the whole thing. Latch it in place. I might add a little glue or something to this to make it stay in, because I don't want this little screw to just fall out like that. Okay. Just like that. Close it. Actually, let me turn it on and make sure the screen light turns off if I close it. So it's on. Yeah, I don't think it's sleeping now, so I'm not sure where that magnet come from. I guess I'll rewatch my video and see if I can figure it out. Sometimes what I can do is put the magnet around here and see. Okay, so putting the magnet in this little corner where I found it did make the screen go off. I don't know if, okay, so it's, I think it came from the screen up here somewhere, because when I put the magnet, wait, no, never mind. Oh yeah, when I put the magnet down here, that's where it triggers it. So the magnet likely came somewhere in the screen up here, it looks like. Yeah, so I have to open that up again and be very careful. That's kind of risky, but the magnet does trigger the screen to go off there. Okay, well, the good news is I don't have to take out the whole base again, so I'm gonna open up the screen. I'm gonna use the little needle and pull this thing back out. Again, pull that little plastic tab out. Take this screw out. Okay, and then now we're gonna have to do the tricky screen removal again. Hopefully we don't damage the screen. You can actually see the screen is on right now. So I'm gonna just try and open part of it. So on the half, this half that's having the magnet, and hopefully I can put the magnet back in place. Okay, so let's get that out and lift that up. and see if there's a slot there for the magnet somewhere. This part is the difficult spot. There we go. Okay, where would the magnet go on here? I don't see a hole for that magnet. That's kind of strange. Okay, so it goes there, so it would line up around here. But yeah, again, I'm not seeing where that magnet goes, so that's really strange. Guess I'll take this whole thing back out and do it again. Okay, let's see. Do I have to take the whole screen back up? Is that what I'm gonna have to do? Is that, it looks like it. So there's this stuff here. And we've got that. So if I were to stick the magnet on, let's see if I stick the magnet here. Okay. Okay, I think it goes behind this screen part here that's cracked, so I'm gonna try and shove the magnet up there. Yep. Okay, so I think it goes into this, oops, into this little hole behind where the screw used to be. Just like that. I'm gonna tuck it in there. And let's see if now the screen turns itself off. No? Wait, did it? That's not the right spot. So, where does it go? That's really strange. I don't know. Well, I mean, you get the point. You got this video. I'm gonna figure out where this magnet goes. Okay, out here. So it sticks out here, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna try, how am I gonna stick that on there and then test it? So I think it goes in this little corner here. But anyways, you get the idea. I'm gonna figure out this magnet thing. I'm getting a call right now. So I'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully this video helped. If it did, like and subscribe because that'll help others find this video. Thank you for watching and bye.